Have you ever tried to piece together the Dutton family tree, only to end up more confused than ever? With 1923 recently wrapping up and Yellowstone heading toward its finale, fans like us are still asking, who exactly is John Dutton III's father? Welcome to my channel, your go-to place for theories, timelines, and all things Yellowstone universe. Today, we're breaking down every generation of the Duttons, from 1883 to 1923 to the modern day, and figuring out who truly connects the dots between the generations. Let's dive deep into the legacy of the Duttons. And trust me, it's more tangled than you think. To fully understand how we got to John Dutton III, we need to go back, way back, starting with the first generation. 1883 and 1923 introduce us to the original Dutton pioneers, James and Margaret Dutton, along with Jacob and Kara Dutton and their sister Claire. James, a Tennessee farmer, heads west with his wife Margaret, their children, his sister Claire, and her daughter. They're seeking a new life, eventually settling in Montana. Along the way, they suffer huge losses, including the heartbreaking death of their daughter Elsa, and later James himself during a horse thief hunt. Margaret, left alone, reaches out to James's brother Jacob for help. When Jacob and Kara arrive, Margaret has tragically died from hypothermia. Jacob takes on the role of patriarch, and Kara becomes the family's matriarch. Together, they raise James's surviving sons, John Sr. and Spencer, as their own. Claire, meanwhile, is a widow who joins the journey in 1883, but after losing her daughter, Mary Abel, in a brutal attack, she takes her own life. One of the most haunting moments in the series. The second generation includes Elsa, John Sr., and Spencer. Elsa's story is short but powerful. Her death essentially determines where the Dutton family settles in Montana. John Sr., the surviving son of James and Margaret, is a key figure in 1923. He's married to Emma, but tragedy strikes again when he's killed in an ambush. Emma, heartbroken, later dies by suicide, leaving their son Jack behind. Spencer, raised mostly by Jacob and Kara, becomes a central figure in 1923. After serving in World War I, he travels to Africa, where he meets and marries Alexandra. They face numerous obstacles, but eventually reunite in Montana. Sadly, Alexandra dies shortly after giving birth to their son. Spencer never remarries, though he also has another son from a widow. He dies in 1969 beside Alexandra's grave, a devastating end for one of the series' most beloved characters. Jack Dutton, son of John Sr. and Emma, is introduced in 1923. He marries Elizabeth, and after a miscarriage, she becomes pregnant again. Tragically, Jack is killed, and Elizabeth returns to Boston, pregnant and alone. Meanwhile, Spencer's son, the one born to Alexandra, is named John. He's presumed to be John III's grandfather, but here's where things get complicated. We know John III, played by Kevin Costner, is the fifth generation. Spencer's son, however, would only be the third, unless there's another missing generation in between. So, who connects the dots? The fourth generation. The missing link. This is where theories start flying. If Elizabeth gave birth after returning to Boston, her child would be Jack's, making him part of the fourth generation. That child could very well be John III's father. It's a twist we might see explored in 1944, the rumored follow-up series. Meanwhile, if Spencer's son, John, survives, he might still be the father or grandfather of John III, but that leaves the numbering off unless there's another generation we're not seeing yet. Could Spencer's second son, the one we haven't met, be the missing piece? Now we're in familiar Yellowstone territory. John Dutton III is the stoic rancher we've grown to love, or fear. His wife Evelyn tragically dies in a horseback riding accident while their children are still young. Later, John III is assassinated, reportedly by a contract killer hired by Jaime and Sarah Atwood. His brother, Peter, sadly only lived for 18 hours due to a weak heart, but he's still part of the family legacy. This generation is led by Beth and Case. Beth is the fierce and complicated daughter of John III. She marries Rip, John's loyal right-hand man. Together, they unofficially adopt Carter, a troubled teen who might be their only hope for the next generation. Case, meanwhile, is married to Monica from the Broken Rock Reservation. Their son Tate is one of the youngest members of the Dutton line. After losing their second son in a tragic accident, their story continues in an upcoming spin-off. Jaime, the adopted son of John III, is technically part of this generation too, though most fans, understandably, don't see him as a real Dutton. Carter, the unofficial son of Rip and Beth, and Tate, son of Case and Monica, are the new face of the Duttons.